Good day, viewers. I hope you're enjoying a leisurely weekend and perhaps spending quality time with family and friends. Let's now turn our attention to the important stories unfolding across South Africa. 5 Facebook robbers shot after exchanging gunfire with police. Shock as 7 prisoners escape from police custody. New Police Minister Kachelia breathes fire as Commissioner Masemola returns 121 case dockets back to General Mkhwanazi. Plot to cover up corruption and state capture revealed by General Mkhwanazi exposed? Commuters stranded as taxi drivers strike. Family still waiting for the body of e-hailing driver who was shot and burnt at Maponya Mall. A crisis is brewing in South Africa, where a series of dramatic incidents is exposing deep-seated tensions within its transportation, crime, and justice systems. This week, 5 suspects involved in a Facebook robbery scam were shot during a tense confrontation with police, while 7 prisoners managed to escape from a moving police van in KwaZulu-Natal. At the same time, Minister of Police Firoz Kachelia is expressing strong concerns over the handling of 121 case dockets linked to KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's allegations, raising questions about whether the Madlanga Commission is already allowing cover-ups of what Mkhwanazi has exposed. On the other hand, commuters across Ekurhuleni are finding themselves stranded due to a taxi driver's strike, and a grieving family continues to wait anxiously for the remains of slain e-hailing driver Mkhwanazi Mvelase, 17 days after his tragic end. These stories weave together a tapestry of challenges facing everyday people, from online scams to breakdowns in law enforcement and public transport disruptions, all demanding closer attention as they affect lives in real time. Now, let me unpack all these stories for you one by one and in great detail. Let's begin with the gripping tale of the Facebook robbery suspects who found themselves in a high-stakes shootout with the police. It all started with a seemingly innocent advertisement on Facebook Marketplace for a Polo Vivo car, posted to lure unsuspecting buyers into a trap. The suspects, aged between 27 and 39, had crafted an elaborate scam where they would arrange meetings with potential victims, only to rob them at the agreed spot. One victim, earlier this month on August 4, 2025, responded to the ad and met the group, but things quickly turned dangerous. The suspects kidnapped him, shot him in the legs, and drained his bank account before letting him go. This incident set off alarm bells, but the group continued their operations, posting the same fake ad to attract more targets. Police got wind of the scheme when a second potential buyer grew suspicious about the meeting location in Midrand and alerted authorities. Officers decided to set up a sting operation, accompanying the would-be buyer to the rendezvous point. As the suspects realized they were dealing with law enforcement, panic ensued. Shots rang out from both sides, leading to a high-speed chase through the streets of Midrand. The suspects fled in 2 vehicles, but police managed to shoot out the tires of one, causing it to crash and roll over. In the aftermath, 5 suspects ended up injured and were rushed to the hospital for treatment. Authorities recovered 2 unlicensed firearms and ammunition from the scene, adding to the charges against the group.
What happened on the 4th of August, a victim saw an advert of a Polo with a price of next to nothing, and this victim then engaged, he saw it on Marketplace Facebook, and then he engaged the seller and they agreed to meet. They met. When they met, the victim was kidnapped, shot at, and they took all his money and his bank cards, and they withdrew a lot of money from his bank account. And the victim came and opened a case. It was here in Midrand. And later on, last week, his friend saw the same advert, and then engaged the seller, and after engaging the seller, he realized, but this can be the same scam or group of criminals. Then he engaged the police, and then we engaged our crime intelligence. They work on the information. They kept on enticing him to come and buy, and he played along, obviously, until today when they agreed. They gave him an address where he will get the car. They give him a house number on the same street, just here at the back, to say that's where you'll come, you'll get a car, bring cash, you'll get your car right away. And while they were here, a car burst, They didn't realize this car passed them, went away. Later on, I think they were scouting and checking who's there, because he told them, I'm coming with my wife. And after that, another car passed. And later on, the two cars came following each other. They parked parallel. After passing the police, faced them to say, we are here. Is it you driving this car? He said, yes, it's me. Just when they alighted, facing the driver and the passenger, they shot direct into their vehicle. Unfortunately, none of our police officers who were in the vehicle were injured. Police then defended themselves, reacted immediately, tactically so, and the suspect realized, here we are in trouble, and they tried to drive away. The police shot at this vehicle, the wheels, it overturned, and the other Polo, which was used by the suspect, they shot at it. It got bullet holes, it's gone. But out of these 5 suspects were arrested. They come from Tembisa and Soweto, and 2 pistols were found in their possession, and the other vehicle with 4 suspects which had also firearms. They managed to escape, but their vehicle, and hopefully 1 or 2 of them might be injured. And where they are, the team is busy following up. We expect that we will capture them. And through these ones who were arrested, we believe we'll get more information, and we'll try our best through investigation and our intelligence through analysis to ensure that these suspects are linked to as many cases where they were involved as possible.
These men now face serious accusations, including attempted murder, possession of unlicensed firearms, and conspiracy to commit armed robbery. They appeared in the Midrand Magistrates Court on Wednesday, where investigations continue to link them to other similar scams and robberies across the area. Citing Deputy Commissioner Fred Gegana explained in an interview that the tactical team had assembled quickly after connecting the dots between the first victim's ordeal and the new lead. The police response was swift, ensuring no further harm came to the second potential victim. This case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in online marketplaces, with officials urging the public to conduct such deals at police stations for safety. The suspect's method was clever but ultimately flawed, relying on the trust of buyers seeking a good deal, only to exploit them in isolated spots. Shifting focus to another alarming development in KwaZulu-Natal, 7 prisoners have escaped from custody in a bold breakout that exposes vulnerabilities in prisoner transport. The incident happened on Tuesday afternoon along the N11 highway near Ladysmith, specifically in the Limit Hill Road area of Newcastle. 12 suspects were being transported from the Dundee Magistrates Court back to Ladysmith Prison when 7 of them managed to force open the back door of the police van while it was still moving. They jumped out and fled into a nearby forest in the Model Kloof area, disappearing into the dense terrain. These escapees are accused of serious crimes like robbery and housebreaking, making their freedom a significant concern for public safety.
Good evening. At the entrance at Model Kloof, next to the N11, where it's been reported that 7 detainees that was being transported by Dundee police had managed to kick open the back door of a police van and escape. Now, police is busy with setting up to search the areas, the bushy areas in the Model Kloof area. It's 7 suspects that were in the back of a police van, and they were being transported back to Dundee when they managed to kick open the door and escape. So police officers from Ladysmith, Washbank, Glencoe and Dundee is being called in to assist in the search for the 7 men that have escaped from the back of a police van. So this is Model Kloof area, just outside Ladysmith, along the N11. Police, public safety and other officials are on scene and searching the area for the 7 that have escaped from police custody.
KwaZulu-Natal Police spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Paul Mkhwanazi confirmed the escape and stated that a manhunt is actively underway. Authorities are appealing to anyone with information to contact the nearest police station or the Crime Stop number. This escape follows closely on the heels of another incident last week, where a 25-year-old man accused of killing a police officer and 2 road traffic inspectorate officers broke free from custody between the R34 and N2 in Mkhwanazi. In that case, he allegedly assaulted a police captain, forced open the vehicle door, and ran off, while his co-accused was recaptured after being shot in the leg. The Police and Prisons Civil Rights Union has highlighted this as part of a larger pattern of weaknesses in the prisoner transport system. They point out that vehicles are often outdated and poorly maintained, making them easy to compromise. Chronic underfunding and staff shortages leave officers stretched thin, especially when handling high-risk detainees. The union is calling for an urgent overhaul, including modernizing the fleet with secure vehicles and strengthening escort procedures. They emphasize that these escapes erode trust in the justice system and put communities at risk, demanding transparent investigations and increased resources to treat prisoner transport as a core security function. As the manhunt continues, questions linger about how such breaches keep occurring, pointing to systemic issues that need immediate fixes in 2025. Now, turning to the political and investigative drama surrounding the Madlanga Commission, delays in its proceedings are sparking concerns about potential cover-ups of serious allegations exposed by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. The commission, chaired by recently retired Constitutional Court Judge Mbuyiseli Madlanga, was set up to probe claims of political interference and corruption in law enforcement. Mkhwanazi has accused Police Minister Senzo Mthunu and SAP's Deputy Commissioner Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibia of colluding with organized crime syndicates in Gauteng and disbanding a task team investigating political killings to hinder police work.
On the 1st of January 2025, Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi sends a WhatsApp to Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, and it reads as follows, I quote, "I have arranged a meeting for Sibia and the minister. They must have a solution." And he follows another message. "The task team that came to your house and harassed you have been dissolved. They got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they are bringing all docket to Sibia."
President Cyril Ramaphosa established the commission in response, but hearings originally scheduled for September 1, 2025, have been postponed due to delays in procuring essential infrastructure by the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development.
Entities and persons that we must investigate are the South African Police Service, the Metro Police of the 3 Gauteng metros, the National Prosecuting Authority, the State Security Agency, the Judiciary, Correctional Services, any other institution in the criminal justice system, and any member of the executive responsible for the criminal justice system.
This setback led Justice and Constitutional Development Minister Mamologo Kubai to suspend the department's Director General, Advocate Doc Mashabane, and Deputy Director General Chabu for failing to ensure readiness. Experts like crime analyst Mary de Haas warn that the delay gives those implicated more time to interfere with evidence, shred documents, or intimidate witnesses and whistleblowers. She notes that government IT systems, particularly in the South African Police Service, are outdated and unreliable, making cover-ups easier. Forensics expert Paul O'Sullivan agrees, stating that the lack of urgency in the civil service allows bad actors to delay the removal of corrupt elements, though he believes the truth will eventually emerge. Opposition parties are voicing suspicions too. The African Transformation Movement sees the postponement as a sign of lacking commitment, potentially allowing obstruction of justice. The EFF views it as a deliberate move to avoid accountability, while the MK party points out that it creates loopholes for figures like Sibia, who argues his suspension is unnecessary without active hearings. The Commission's spokesperson stresses that witness safety is a top priority, with measures in place to protect those coming forward. However, the ongoing delays raise questions about whether the Madlanga Commission is inadvertently covering up the very issues Mkhwanazi has brought to light, allowing time for evidence tampering and weakening the push for a cleaner justice system.
Well, I didn't call for a commission, so we spoke about what we spoke about in public for the executive to be able to act on it, both at the national level from what the president has announced in terms of a commission as well as parliament. We expect them to take action in order to help us to fight crime as police officers. However, we are continuing with our investigating work regardless of the challenges that we experience, and I'm sure we have seen of late some major arrest that has been effected as a result. So we're not going to stop. We're going to continue with that as police. So whatever the executive is doing, that is their responsibility. We focus on ours.
Closely tied to this is Minister Firoz Kachalia's strong reaction to the handling of 121 case dockets connected to Mkhwanazi's allegations. Kachalia is breathing fire over National Police Commissioner General Fanny Masemola's announcement that these dockets are being returned to the Political Killings Task Team before the Madlanga Commission can investigate. These dockets were reportedly removed from the task team on orders from Sibiya and left idle at head office, fueling claims of interference by Mthunu and Sibiya, who have both denied the accusations and stepped aside temporarily.
On the 26th of March 2025, this year, a total of 121 case dockets that were under investigation were taken away from the task team as directed by a Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, a Lieutenant General Sibiya, who was acting on the instruction of the Minister of Police to disband the team. This was done without the authority of the National Commissioner, nor I as a Provincial Commissioner was never informed. These case dockets have since March been sitting at the head office ever since without any investigation work done on them. 5 of these dockets had already instruction to arrest perpetrators, but nothing has been done because a Lieutenant General Sibiya, being instructed by the Minister, executing instruction of the Minister, withdrew all these dockets and they are sitting in archive in his office in Pretoria. God knows why.
Kachalia insists that the dockets are central to the Commission's work and should not be moved prematurely. He finds it concerning that actions are being taken without the Commission's input, potentially undermining the investigation into political killings in KwaZulu-Natal. Upon taking office, Kachalia requested a detailed report from Masemola on the task team, which has yet to be provided, and he is urging its submission without delay. His role, appointed by the President, is to maintain the integrity of the police service and rebuild public trust during this turbulent period. The dockets involve sensitive cases of political killings, and their handling is under scrutiny as part of broader efforts to address corruption and interference. Kachalia's stance highlights the high stakes, as returning them now could complicate the Commission's ability to uncover the full truth behind Mkwanazi's exposures. Amid these justice system strains, commuters in Ekurhuleni are facing immediate hardships from a taxi drivers' strike that has left thousands stranded. The South African National Taxi Council, known as SANTACO, announced a halt in operations on Thursday in response to ongoing tensions with provincial authorities over vehicle impoundments. This has affected areas like Katlehong, Germiston, and Kempton Park, where people rely heavily on taxis for daily travel. Many commuters spent cold nights at taxi ranks, huddling around fires made from burning plastics to stay warm, as no services ran from Thursday evening into Friday morning. One resident in Kempton Park described the ordeal of enduring midnight chills in open spaces, pleading for the government to resolve the issues quickly so people can get to work and support their families. Others turn to e-hailing services like Uber and Bolt, but these options come at much higher costs, making them unaffordable for many.
Since ngifike lapha ay 4 o'clock ekseni, I thought ukuthi sizothola ama-taxi since bebasithembisile ukuthi today ekseni ama-taxi azoba asebenza. Then mangifika ngathola i-taxi e-rank empty. Then I'm so scared ukuthi kena ngi-request i-Uber cause kungayenzeka ukuthi ama-taxi association balwe nabo or kube ne-violent shooting or in everything. So ngingalimala lapho, so rather to save myself than to risk my life yami.
Some simply returned home, missing out on wages and productivity. Train services became overwhelmed, with stations packed and some passengers giving up on boarding altogether. Santaco's Ekurhuleni Regional Secretary Zweli Mnisi explained that the shutdown is a protest against what they call selective and unfair law enforcement, particularly targeting 10-seater baby buses without operating licenses. These licenses are no longer being issued, leaving operators in a bind, and they face fines up to 5,000 rand to retrieve impounded vehicles, which is crippling their businesses. Gauteng Roads and Transport spokesperson Lesibampia countered that enforcement is about restoring law and order, insisting that no one without a valid license under the National Land Transport Act can operate on the roads. By Friday morning, Santaco Gauteng Secretary Graham Fritz assured that operations are normal across the province except in Ekurhuleni, where discussions continue. He apologized for the inconvenience and anxiety caused by rumors of a wider shutdown, emphasizing ongoing dialogues with provincial and national authorities for a sustainable solution. An update on Ekurhuleni services is expected soon. Meanwhile, in related incidents, 5 taxi marshals aged 26 to 30 were arrested in Tembisa for allegedly issuing spot fines of 3,000 to 6,000 rand to motorists using private or e-hailing vehicles to access a nearby mall, forcing everyone to use taxis instead. Ekurhuleni Metro Police spokesperson Tabiso Makato noted multiple complaints of harassment and intimidation, with the group set to appear in court soon. This taxi industry unrest ties directly into the heartbreaking story of e-hailing driver Mkhwanazi Mvelase, whose family is still waiting for his remains 17 days after he was shot and his body set alight in his vehicle at Maponya Mall in Soweto's Klipspruit area. The 27-year-old had only been working as an e-hailing driver for 3 days, having moved from KwaZulu-Natal to Gauteng weeks earlier in search of better opportunities after years of unemployment struggles. On the night of August 13, 2025, 2 e-hailing cars were torched at the mall, and a teacher named Baratile Segwalane, also aged 27, survived with a bullet lodged in her left jaw and another grazing her eye. Mvelase's family, back in KwaZulu-Natal, has been in constant contact with police for updates on the investigation and his remains, but they keep being told to wait. His mother remains in deep denial, unable to accept his death without seeing the body or receiving DNA confirmation. His aunt, Mpumi Nyoga, described the painful anxiety of waiting, noting that forensics initially suggested results by Monday but then extended it by 2 more days, seemingly hesitant to deliver bad news. In his mother's mind, Mvelase might just be with friends in Durban, having lost his phone, as the lack of confirmation keeps reality at bay. The family feels stuck in limbo, with acceptance only possible once they have tangible proof. Similar attacks on e-hailing drivers have erupted elsewhere, like in Gwatabega in Durban, where police questioned 15 people on Thursday in connection with assaults allegedly by taxi owners and drivers. Gauteng police spokesperson Colonel Mavela Masondo stated that no arrests have been made yet for the Maponya Mall incident, but investigations are ongoing and the mall is operating smoothly under control. These events underscore the growing friction between taxi operators and e-hailing services, with commuters caught in the middle, facing higher costs or no transport at all. As these stories unfold in 2025, they reveal intricate layers of societal challenges, from clever online scams leading to dramatic police chases and injuries, to daring prison escapes that expose transport flaws, to investigative delays that might allow cover-ups of high-level corruption, to ministerial concerns over mishandled dockets and strikes that strand everyday workers. The family's prolonged wait for Mvelase's remains adds a personal, human element, showing how broader conflicts impact individual lives. Each detail, from the specific fines imposed by marshals to the outdated police vans and the postponed commission hearings, paints a picture of systems under strain, urging reforms for safer, fairer outcomes. That concludes our news for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you continue to enjoy your weekend. Remember to cherish your time with loved ones. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's stories, so please share your comments below. We read and appreciate everyone. We'll be back with more news tomorrow.